Hello and welcome to the Gaggle, where we challenge and, if necessary, destroy media narratives. I'm George Szamuely. With me today, of course, is co-founder of the Gaggle, Peter Lavelle. So, people, we talked in the past about Hungary's law that was passed in 2021, which restricted the availability of LGBTQ plus material in public schools and in advertising and television content, which could be accessed to minors. And if you recall, the Europeans were very indignant. The European leaders were very indignant. And Ursula von der Leyen said that it goes against European values. And then Charles Michel, the president of the European Council, also said it goes against European values. And then, Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte also said it goes against European values, and he even suggested that maybe we should just kick Hungary out altogether from the European Union. It doesn't seem like much of a punishment, but that's. But what has happened is that the European Commission and now a number of European states and the European Parliament have all sued Hungary in the European Court of Justice over this legislation. And just want to show you the story about this. And here's the. This is from Politico. Germany, France join EU lawsuit against Hungary's anti-LGBTQI plus law. And then 15 EU countries, 15, and the European Parliament are backing the legal action against Budapest. And says that they've joined more than a dozen other EU countries backing legal action over this law. And then this is a classic, because this is the tweet from the German Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So this is the Annalena Baerbock's ministry. It says, Germany has joined the ECJ proceedings against anti-queer laws. Make sure they have anti-queer laws in Hungary. And the move demonstrates we stand on the side of the LGBTQI community. The common values of the EU are the DNA of our free and open society. Diversity is our strength.
The absurdity of talking about DNA. When men have certain chromosomes and women have it, that's DNA. Okay. I mean, this woman is just hopelessly stupid. Okay, don't bring up science. This is an ideology. It's exactly. Not science.
It's not exactly. It's the very opposite of science. But also diversity of Israel. Well, you obviously don't believe in diversity, because you would have thought if there's diversity, then you would respect the opinions of one country, and then you say, well, Hungary may have different views on these issues from, say, Denmark, and then Denmark may have different views from Poland. But no, the diversity is our strength. In other words, we have to have no diversity whatsoever. And then besides France and Germany, Austria, Belgium, Denmark, Finland, Greece, Ireland, Luxembourg, Malta, the Netherlands, Portugal, Slovenia, Spain, Sweden, and the European Parliament have also applied to join the proceedings.
So now, piling on.
But notice the presence of Finland and Sweden. Now, Finland, only the other day, the Hungarian Parliament voted overwhelming majority to let Finland in. And this is payback. Thank you very much for letting us in. And it's very interesting, because the grounds on which Hungary was dragging its feet was saying because Finland, not in any principle, weren't making any principled position like, hey, this is threatening the security of Europe, it doesn't do us any good at all. No, Finland and Sweden have been saying mean things about Hungary, so why should we do this for Finland and Sweden? I think it's a reasonable position to take. Very narrow, but okay. But hey, Finland, they're still pile on in the suit. And what are you going to do now? You're gonna now say, yeah, we changed our minds. We don't want Finland in NATO. Hey, tough luck, buddy. I mean, that's gone. But we'll see what happens with Sweden, because Hungary still hasn't yet voted on Sweden. But but it's, but you can see this is the gratitude. Yeah.
It tells me that security of Europe, of European countries, and of the European Union as it is beneath this ideology. Their ideology is supremacy. That's what this is. And everything else is secondary. And you can tell, look at all of the protests all across Europe. Yeah, people are secondary. The electorate is secondary. The ideology is the guiding element of these elites right now. It's the prime directive, if I can use a phrase from Star Trek.
Right. No, that's right. But the other thing is this: the issue of values. They say these are our values, but where does it say that this LGBTQI plus is the European values? I mean, they just sort of made it up and said this is part of our fundamental values. I mean, if you look at the Treaty of the European Union, I don't see it anywhere there. I mean, it's just, it must have been sort of omitted, but there's no mention of it. You look at
it's like the Supreme Court ruling on abortion. It's not in the Constitution, so why are you ruling on it? Right. And now this is all invented from whole cloth. Oh, this has been part of our values from the time of the Romans. No, it's not. This is something that's in the last few years has been bootstrapped on.
Right. Exactly. So it's amazing. But those are just values, and you just simply say it, and then everybody repeats it, and that this is somehow fundamental to European values. And then it says the Hungarian law seeks to ban content that, quote, promotes or portrays what it refers to as divergence from self-identity corresponding to sex at birth, sex change, or homosexuality to minors. And then the Commission referred the Hungary to the ECJ last week for the breach of EU internal market rules on the free provision, blah, blah. But this, of course, is not true because, in fact, as Euronews points out, the Hungarian law contains a provision that prohibits or heavily restricts depictions of homosexuality and gender reassignment in media content and educational material addressed to audiences under 18 years of age. That's the issue. It's not, they didn't ban it. They just said that minors should be protected from it. I mean, you can disagree, but don't lie about it and say that they banned this material. So it's just they banned its availability to people under 18 years of age.
And the media that is allowed to do this, okay? Right. I mean, that's what it's all about. State media in schools and all this. I mean, it's not like these ideas have been completely snuffed out. They're just not going to be supported. That's all. I mean, that is not a radical position, George.
No, that really isn't. I mean, they say, hey, if parents want to have this in their homes, that's fine. I mean, if you have it in private schools, unlikely, because the private schools are run by the Catholic Church and they don't really look favorably. But in theory, as long as it's not in the state schools, the government doesn't mind. But but this is just the way the media presented it. So Germany's last-minute application shows the divergence of views in the ruling coalition in Berlin. Whoa, never heard of that one. Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock, a green politician who has been championing a progressive and value-driven foreign policy. I want a value-driven foreign policy, pushed for Germany to join the lawsuit, eventually winning over skepticism from other parts of the government, notably Chancellor Olaf Scholz. Asked why Germany waited. No surprise. Asked why Germany waited until the 11th hour, the German Foreign Ministry failed to reply by the time of publication. Because Scholz is always dumped on. Every time you read any story, they're always dumping on Scholz. He has to be dragged to send Leopard tanks. He has to be dragged sending.
Is this Politico? This is Politico, right? Yeah. Of course. They're going to be the pallbearers at this chancellor's funeral. Okay, they're going to be leading it. Okay, Politico hates Scholz. They never miss an opportunity to kick the guy, okay? Yeah. And to promote Annalena Baerbock.
That's right. Exactly. But whatever the subject, he's always being dragged. Because, he brought this on himself because he does look like he's always being dragged into doing something he doesn't really want to do. I mean, you remember back, He didn't even want to end the Nord Stream 2. I mean, he wanted to keep Nord Stream 2 separate from sanctions. That just shows how far he's been dragged along. How the hell did he get to be chancellor? I mean, how do with a man with so little ideas about anything, I mean, get to be chancellor?
Yeah, but I think he was just in line. That's it. Okay. Right. But he really is completely out of step with these other elites. He doesn't believe in any of this nonsense. Okay, no. He probably is more concerned with trade policy, tax policy, monetary policy, all of the. It's like Joe Biden. Joe Biden. They give him a card and he reads it. The old Jim Crow Joe Biden is now for trans rights. It's amazing. And and then Schultz is given the card and he's just like, well, what does this say? Okay, how does this deal with tax policy? Okay, that's the kind of guy he's German. Okay,
that's it. And he looks it. I mean, you look at that's exactly what you would think. And and he was Minister of Finance under Merkel. That's what you think. He's bogged down in tax policy and interest rates and the rest. And that's the lawsuit. So what we can glean is there's no diversity in Europe. Hungary, which finally agreed to Finland, isn't getting any rewards for this. It's not expected to. I mean, they're not going to let up on Hungary. Notice all the attacks that have been taking place on Hungary. Oh, he's Putin's best friend. Oh, he's still getting oil from Russia. He's getting nuclear power from Russia. And then suddenly, hey, and he's not, doesn't have enlightened views on queer issues.
But wasn't Erdogan re-elected overwhelmingly for the fourth time?
He's autocratic. It's like he's not democratic. It's like somebody, the one political leader who just wins elections exactly 4 times landslide. He's not democracy.
Well, I guess the Hungarians, they've been so brainwashed by Orban and his Russian friend Putin. Okay, again, George, see, Political, they just dump on the Hungarian people. Yeah, they voted the wrong way, and that means they need to be deleted. Okay, canceled. Yeah. They voted the wrong way. They voted for the wrong guy. I mean, it's so. Politico of all. That's why I always notice it when we do these podcasts. Politico really is likes to intrude upon the democratic process. We have too much democracy. That's what these people are like. Okay. That's right.
No, exactly. I mean, Politico just makes explicit what's kind of implicit in most media coverage. It's basically editorializing, masquerading as news reporting, and it has an agenda. So basically it loves Annalena Baerbock, detests Scholz, loathes Orban, and of course regards Putin as he needs to be seized and put on trial immediately for whatever. So that's the Politico. I mean, what's interesting here though is how we have this this lawsuit. It's supposed to be kind of European unity against Europe, and what are they doing? They're all piling on against.
Yeah, but see, George, isn't it? It's the same tactic, lawfare. That's what that's their favorite thing is lawfare. Okay. Right. And so if they do it to an individual, you don't have the resources to fight back. If you do it to a country, well, they cut off your funding, which you are guaranteed for joining the European Union. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
That's right. Yeah. You kind of wonder though. I mean, it's Hungary, member of the Warsaw Pact, Comic-Con. It sure made the right decision, getting in with the EU and NATO. I mean, it's now it's. Freedom has been restored to Hungary.
I'm glad you mentioned it because I was in Poland when they entered the European Union, and I told my Polish friends, "You will learn to regret this. You will very much because Soviet powers at the time was what it wasn't subtle, George.
Right.
Let's put it that way. It was
Right.
never very subtle.
No,
This
no.
is insipidly subtle what they
Right.
do. Okay,
Right.
okay. Oh, we're going to be rich and we're going to be safe, but you got to do a few things. We got a long list, okay,
Yeah.
and we can't guarantee that you'll be safe and rich. But anyway.
Yeah. No, that's right. And membership in NATO is sort of, Orban says it, you're kind of dragging us into a world war. At least when you were in the Warsaw Pact, you knew there wasn't going to be a world war. I mean, it's, you're there, you go through the motions, like when they intervened in Czechoslovakia in '68, Hungary took part, but was then sent home after a couple of days. No one was worried that that nuclear missiles would be flying. now
and on top of it, Soviet leaders would never rely upon Warsaw Pact members to do anything meaningful, okay, at all. They would do it themselves, okay?
That's right.
So, I mean, yeah, but now, but Poland wants to create a brigade of the coalition of the willing. Let's go to Ukraine. Okay, it's beyond insane. And Orban's the only one that just says, what are you people thinking? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you see it in Georgia. When I lived in Budapest for a short time, you could look at some of the major state buildings and you can still see bullet holes from the 56 uprising. Okay. It's there. You see it every day. You can't mistake it.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. And Hungary got really, badly hammered in two world wars. And it's understandable. And Orban brings this up again and again. We don't want to get involved in these wars because it's always Hungary that's the loser of this. I mean, it's always going to be us. Because we're here right between East and West. So when East and West fight, we get thumped. So we just don't want this. And,
well, what's the old African proverb? When two elephants fight, it's the grass that loses.
Exactly.
Okay?
Exactly.
One has to understand, why do the Poles? I mean, do they have some kind of masochistic?
I think
to
so.
them?
Yeah.
I lived there for a long time. I really never could understand.
Right.
What
it's somebody like that is, I mean, obviously the subject for another podcast is Armenia. Armenia is now going out of its way to antagonize Russia. It doesn't seem to make any sense at all. When you're involved in a conflict with Azerbaijan, who is much stronger than you are, and you only have one source of support. Why would you kick your your great ally? I mean, it's like Poland. I mean, it's ultimately there's some.
You get elite media, NGOs, George Soros, Western backers, and all that, and that's how you create the cleavage. It's the classic elite capture scenario, and it is. Look, of all countries, Armenia, of all countries in modern history, you can be annihilated. You can disappear. You can be taken off the map. Your country and your people. And they have these elites talking the way they do. They all these machinations against our government. It's Putin's doing, and Russians are doing, and all this. Well, maybe a lot of people just don't know what the hell you're doing. You got Azerbaijan, you got Turkey, and you got one friend.
One friend. So, Pashinyan, avoided posing for a photograph with Putin. Oh, good on you, Pashinyan. You really did a good job there. You insulted Putin. Who's going to save you? I mean, there's nobody else who's going to save you.
Why should Russia send peacekeepers there?
Right.
Okay. Why? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, the Nagorno-Karabakh, it's a losing issue for Armenia. I mean, in the medium and long term, I have an Armenian cleaning lady, and I've just told her, I said, if you have relatives there, tell them to move. Okay, because the way your government is treating the Russian government, I mean, who's going to lift a finger for you? Is Nancy Pelosi in a drunken stupor going to show up and try to save you?
Yeah. But that's the strange thing is, like with Poland and Armenia, there's a kind of they're very similar. And why? What is this? It's some sort of a suicide, some death wish on the part of the leaders.
It's the Monty Python skit, you know, the two knights fighting each other, cuts off an arm, cuts off the. Why are you running, you coward? He's on his back. He's paraplegic. You know, come back, fight on.
You coward! Exactly.
You coward. I don't know. I can't explain. Anyway, that's our update here on what's going on with Hungary and with the insipid, entirely insane anti-science ideology of Brussels. Germans come in at the last second. You know, kick them in the knee. Let's knock them down. Okay? A country like Germany doing that to Hungary.
Yeah.
You know, here we go again. Here we go again.
That's it. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, everybody, this is The Gaggle with Peter and George. We're on Local, so please go to thegaggle.locals.com, visit our store. And George, I know, buddy, you know when we're finishing, George's live stream is coming up on Tuesday.
Yeah, yes, in just over 48 hours, please join me on live stream on Locals. Always a lot of fun. Come with comments, criticism, suggestions on the way out the door. Think about little brother. He's very litigious, and he says, "I want to join a lawsuit." You know, somebody told me something about a lawsuit. I'm in. So you know, we know how litigious Buddy can be. So we don't want him anywhere near legal documents. So if you have a few bob in your pocket, whip them out, dunk them in his tip jar. It'll keep him going for a while. We're very grateful for all of your help and friendship and support. The more you're able to donate, the more of these videos we can make. The more we can improve the technology, and above all, the more we can keep Buddy away from these legal documents. Isn't that bad for him? So remember, if you like The Gaggle, please like, share, and subscribe. See you soon. Bye.